going to be with you. We're going to be with you for about half an hour this evening, and we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight. Just some quick housekeeping before we get started. Please ensure your microphone is on mute, and please feel free to switch off your camera if it is more convenient for you to do so, and just listen in. If you've got any questions at all as we go through this evening, please pop them in the chat, and we will aim to answer them for you at the end of the event. And if we don't get time, we will get those answers out to you or the person who invited you here. And I want to give a big thank you to behind the scenes host Donna Emery from Saving Grace Business Support for letting you all in the Zoom room and keeping the tech running smoothly. This event will be recorded and it will be shared privately with any individuals wishing to watch it again or anyone that was unable to attend live. So let's get started. So my name's Sarah Mills. I run an online business in health and well-being, and I'm a brand ambassador with Arbonne, one of the world's leading sustainable healthy living communities, specializing in clean, ethical products and programs for mind and body. And during this time, I have learned that it is all connected holistically. Our gut health, our mind health, and our skin health need to be in healthy balance for us to flourish. And I'm super excited this evening to be in conversation with a great friend and business collaborator, Dr. Rajeev Gupta. Welcome, Dr. Rajeev. So Dr. Rajeev is a senior consultant in the NHS, a chairman of Central Specialist Committee of the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health. He is a specialist in gastroenterology and nutrition, and has been chairman of the British Society of Paediatric Gastroenterology, Hepatology and Nutrition. These are very big words. He has published over 30 scientific research papers and many books. He has given 40 presentations in various regional, national and international meetings and conferences, and has been chief investigator of international research trials and principal investigator of UK national research studies. Wow. His new book on gut health is in preparation. I'm excited for that. And obviously tonight we are going to be talking about, in general, solving the mysteries of the gut. It's interesting as well to note that despite his training in modern medicine, he absolutely believes that there is a need for combining modern medicine and alternative and complementary medicine. He has published a book integrating modern medicines with yoga and Ayurvedic practice, which has been really popular already. And he has delivered a talk to the Royal College of Physicians in Edinburgh just last weekend to a doctors' conference. And his talk on this matter was highly appreciated. And he's invited to give a talk, a global talk at the Physicians' Conference. So, wow, is all I can say to that. Let's explore some questions on gut health. I am just in conversation. Dr. Rajeev is the expert, with our aim of giving you some top tips and simple guidelines to consider. So, Dr. Rajeev, welcome to this webinar. It's so great to have you with us. And let's start at the beginning. I'm going to start with a very general question for you to share with us. What is gut health?
Thank you very much, Sarah, for inviting. And before I answer the question, just wanted to say that although I am involved in so many societies, I am giving opinion based on my personal experience and knowledge, not behalf of any institution or society. Coming back to your question, and it's a simple and easy question, but you know that simple questions are always difficult to answer. Taking all that, having done that gastroenterology for almost 27 years now, I have simplified myself gut into 3 letters: gut, G-U-T, G for great, U for unique, and T for tunnel. So it's a great unique tunnel that connect your mouth to your exit opening or anal openings, whatever word you want to use. And it's so interesting that this is the longest organ of the body. The small intestine itself, although called small, is 20 meters or 6 feet, 20 feet or 6 meters long. And 6 meters is probably the size of your room in most of the cases. So imagine your small intestine is that long. And then you add at least 6 more feet because you have got the large intestine and you've got stomach and your food pipe or esophagus to connect upper and lower ends. So this is one of the important and interesting organ, and that actually has been known to influence the physical health for many centuries. But recently, its effect on brain in a scientific way has been established through gut-brain axis just a couple of decades ago. So, in short, gut health denotes the whole effect of digestion, absorption of the nutrients, because if there is no gut, your nutrients will not be absorbed. But second, which is more important and less known, is about the immunity, and we may touch later on onto how microbiomes helps, but also the absorption of water and electrolytes, and also the third, which we will talk about perhaps a bit later, about effective gut-brain access with bi-directional communication. And that is simply the gut health and how does it help in gut health.
Wow.
To answer the question.
Oh, well, that was my second question, right? But I mean, it's just that, yeah, just understanding the actual size of what our gut does and just even the size of it in our body is extraordinary. And that was my second question, why is therefore, you've kind of partly answered that, but just to reiterate that, why is gut health so important, Rajeev?
So yeah, going back for people who kind of take the analogy, it's like a river that's flowing throughout your body from your mouth to your like bottom, and it is keeping within it all the nutrients that are coming from one end. It absorbs all those nutrients and then take it into the body, and that is through the digestion. So if we go back to our original analogy, so river is one part, keeping it clean and taking the stuff out, but the original part was about a tunnel. So if you put a nutrient through your mouth, eating the food, which is what our basic need is, all we have got two basic function of food. I always tell, first function is the nutrition, but people don't believe it. First function is taste. People eat what they like because it's tasty. So that's giving a mental satisfaction is in theory the first function, and giving the nutrition is the second function. So all the food that we eat goes into our gut or digestive system. And that is the second important part, which we should not forget, is that the nutrient part is to provide carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamins, minerals, and water and whatever. All these nutrients are absorbed by the gut through small finger-like processes. And there is digestion, enzymes are created, and they digest the food into small particles and they're absorbed. So that is important for our growth. That is important for giving us the energy. Otherwise, we won't be here. We won't be even able to go. So that's the first, I mean, in taking the gut into that is the nutrient function. But the second important is the immunity. The gut provides the barrier because whatever we eat, it could be good, bad, ugly, whatever, and there could be contaminants, there could be bacteria going in, but there is a barrier. So it provides a barrier. Only good things are absorbed and not good is not absorbed. The third is the mental function. So gut has a gut-brain axis. I don't know many people have heard or not, but our intestine is connected, or the stomach is connected to the brain through a gut nervous system, which has got own thing, and it produces neuroactive substances, neurohormones that produce metabolic effect, which affect our mood and our memory and our mental health. So if you eat certain foods, they improve and make you more active. There are other foods which make you less active. And at times when your gut is working very well, I don't want to say it, but being medical, I'm kind of intending to say that when you have not opened your bowel for some time, you can see the effect. It happens on your mental health. It doesn't work well because there are toxins which are still staying in the body. So those are absorbed. But also, on the other hand, there are bioactive neurohormones which are secreted, and that stimulates the mood, and our mood become much better if our body is digesting the food very well. So now that is the other important part. There's one more part, which is the metabolic part or of gut health. Why it is important? So it is important because of the nutrition. It's important because it is for immunity. It's important for mental function, but also it secretes something called ghrelin, and which is a hunger hormone. And that hormone is responsible for keeping the responsible food versus hunger activity in control. So if that is disrupted, then people become obese or overweight. So these, in theory, are the main important functions why gut health is important. And if these things are not kept, gut is not healthy, all these functions will go well. We will not be able to enjoy the food in the way we like, because the digestion, absorption, and waste elimination will not happen in a proper way. Also, our immunity will go down and inflammation happen. You might have heard the name leaky gut, where there is increased toxins and bacteria coming into the bowel. You can have inflammatory bowel disease, autoimmune disease, or irritable bowel syndrome because of the motility problems. So I think these are few important uh, reasons why gut health is important.
Wow. Gut health seems like it's everything. Everything to importance to our brain health, our body health, our our immune health. And often we hear, so absolutely fascinating. Thank you.
Let
And
me say one more thing, Sarah.
yeah,
Here,
yes, please.
there is a strong quotation which says that, well, I'm just connecting to what you said. It's, if you want to understand the secrets of your body, try to understand the secrets of your gut. That's what somebody said.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Wow. Well,
gut
we want
is important, it's the most
yeah.
important.
It seems like the most important thing there is from what you're explaining. And so we often hear as well, next thing I'd like to ask you is, and we do hear this about the gut microbiome. So can you explain a little bit in terms that we, simplistic terms that we can understand, especially for me who's not medically trained, but can you explain about the gut health microbiome that we commonly hear about? And then if you want to just follow on from that after that, what else is really important for gut health? So the microbiome, and then, what else you think is important for the gut health? That would be really interesting to hear a bit more about.
So to say simply, gut microbiome are bacteria. So normally bacteria are taken in a wrong way. People think bacteria means infection. But on the other hand, gut microbiome is an ecosystem. It's a system that manages the whole gut. And you would be surprised to know that there are more microbiota or gut microbiome or bacteria, healthy bacteria in the body than the total number of cells in the body. 100 trillion bacteria live inside our gut. And that is why gut is sometimes called a forgotten organ. So this gut microbiome is a forgotten organ because it has more cells than the whole body has. And this is important, that these gut bacteria or microbiome, also sometimes called microbiome magic, because it converts many digestive food into better absorbed food. It also has function for synthesizing vitamins like vitamin K, vitamin B12, etc. It also is important as immune system. So this is a protective barrier. Remember that we can eat anything, but this gut microbiome or healthy bacteria prevent the unhealthy bacteria to invade our body. So it is training our body system against invasion by the unhealthy bacteria, and it is a protective barrier. Other important function that it does is regulating the metabolism. So like drugs, when we eat at times when we are ill, it keeps in control, it influences the pharmacokinetic. Well, it's a bit tricky term, but keep that all well in control, and also keep control of gut motility or movement. So now the other hand is that when there is poor function or dysfunction of the gut microbiome or gut bacteria, this condition is called dysbiosis. Dys means bad, biosis means functioning, and that leads to obesity, diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcer, Crohn's disease, and many, many other problems. So just to summarize that, gut microbiome is actually a pool or just like a bucket full of bacteria, which are healthy bacteria, and they actually serve to line the whole bowel, and also it tend to protect our body from being invaded by unhealthy or enemies, and also at the same time help in digestion, help in moving the bowel at a right time, at a right place, and also prevent the obesity, diabetes, and many other disease or conditions which can happen because of the lack of regulation of these, and also has some function in moving the bowel. So gut motility, as it is called, prevent constipation, diarrhea, and rest of the stuff. Does it answer the question?
Yeah, I think that answers my question. Yeah, like the more you talk about it, the more you realize that it seems to be, well, to me, from what you've said, seems literally one of the most important systems in our body that regulates so much about everything, that we do. And just an extraordinary, snippets of absolutely fascinating information, regarding, like how it regulates our body, how it's connected to our brain, and how all that's talking to each other, and then obviously keeping the gut lining healthy and the microbiome thriving, so that it affects all of our system. And I just, that's just, just fascinating to just to think about and to imagine. And I can imagine that the endless kind of research and discussion that goes on around this subject, and then learning more about, we've got more cells in our gut than anywhere else. I mean, it's just extraordinary. And really interesting. And there's a couple of questions that are coming up in the chat that I will answer, and actually a poignant two questions. I will get around to answering those. Crazy David and Kay McCready at the moment, and they're poignant actually, especially Kay's one, because there's a couple of gut health products that we use and recommend. And I just wanted to, from an expert perspective, obviously, I just wanted to show and share a couple of these, and then obviously to get your, what you like about them, the expert side, and then I will answer a couple of the questions. So the first one, because obviously for potentially, and I'm just, if we don't know if our gut's unhealthy or not, we want to keep it with healthy bacteria. Yes, it's from what we eat, but it's also what we absorb. And obviously I know there are all sorts of gut health products out there, but I know the two that we are looking at, just sharing and recommending. And just to let everybody know, if there's any more information you want on this, then obviously please connect with the person that invited you here, or with myself or Rajeev, and we can explain that more. But interesting enough, two things which a first to market, really, a brand new product. I mentioned earlier that I'm a consultant with Arbonne International. And this one, if you can see that, it's just a box, but it's called Biotic Stick. And what I thought was really interesting about this, it's a melt on the tongue product, which can be used for children 4 and above, creating friendly bacteria spores in our body. And you literally just open the packet, tip it on your tongue, and it literally just disappears into your mouth, into your system, right? Which actually is quite fascinating. So that's the first product that Rajeev will just explain. And the second product is called Gut Health Digestion and Microbiome Support, which you've just talked about, the microbiome, and that is dissolved into a glass of water before meal. And this one can be melted on the tongue. So is there, do you want to just share anything about those two products, Rajeev? From the perspective of how that could help with gut health?
Yes. So let's talk first of the Biotic Sticks. So Biotic Sticks, as you mentioned, is a fast melt formula. And the beauty of that one is that it is a probiotic. Many people would have heard the term probiotic. Basically, probiotic is healthy bacterial pool. So it's a stick which has got tons of healthy bacteria. In fact, it has got 1 billion colony forming unit. So it's called CFU. And what it does, it replaces all unhealthy bacteria, because the way we eat, it's always there is something there. There are fermentation happening. All unhealthy bacteria keep on coming. Even our hands, if you see that, and we have done that experiment time, you put your hand, there are hundreds and thousands of bacteria in it, even after you wash your hands. So that actually has Bacillus subtilis DE111, which is actually spores. So you can imagine that these are little rounded balls which have trillions of bacteria in it. It goes in here and germinate inside the body to release these bacteria. And these bacteria keep on growing, and they are really important, and they are creating immune barriers. So they're good for immune functions. They germinate and grow in the intestine for improving the digestive function, and particularly helpful in the inflammatory bowel disease. And they're also good for the gut metabolism. And particularly, it is helping prevent weight gain and obesity. They're also good for constipation, and there are some experiments done that increase the stool volume 37% within 15 days. So it needs to be given regularly, and it will protect from the microinflammation that continue to happen in our bowel over a period of time. And therefore, improving the immunity, reducing the inflammation, improving digestion, improving the growth, and better absorption of the food. That's the first one, fast melt formula biostick, as you have mentioned.
Wow.
So it's really
I want to put it on my tongue now. I need to get that in my system. But yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, thank you. That's just, brilliant to hear it from that perspective.
And it's amazing to see that how that little thing has got 1 billion of these healthy bacteria that can really populate whole your intestine with it. But remember that it can do it once, and that's why it's called probiotic. Now we need to keep feeding these healthy bacteria with prebiotic. So that's where the gut health, digestion, and microbiome support come. So you're going to support these microbiome that you have given through the second product that you have shown, the gut health and digestion. I don't know if you want to hold the product there. What that one does is it has Bacillus coagulans, which is a different bacteria, and it's got 3 billion of that. And it's extremely useful in the irritable bowel syndrome. And it's also found useful in constipation and rheumatoid arthritis. But important thing is that you need to give both. So you give probiotic, prebiotic together. Although Bacillus coagulans has got some probiotic function, on its own, but it's good to give both just to magnify the function. And imagine if your gut is healthy, your body is going to be healthy.
Wow. Thank you. That's amazing. And that's just, yeah, absolutely brilliant. And they taste delicious too. But we just wanted to give you a little background into some ideas. But there's a couple of interesting questions. We've got a couple of minutes left, so I'm just going to throw these out to you, Rajeev, if that's okay. So Kay McCready has asked, which is very poignant to what we've just talked about, can you throw a healthy gut microbiome off balance by taking pro and prebiotics?
So to answer that question is, you cannot overpopulate healthy bacteria in the gut, because excess population will be excreted through the bowel. So there is unlikelihood of any risk or damage happening giving the excess of probiotic or prebiotic.
Wow, that's really good to know that your body can process it and, yeah, keeps what it needs and gets rid of what it doesn't need. Very interesting. Thank you.
Particularly if you are giving the gut microbiome support that has got the chicory root, and that also reduce the antioxidant function, and that actually balances quite well with the possibility of balancing out the excess bacteria. So it's quite good, and particularly with ginger, which is again a natural plant product, and that actually helps to balance. So there are checks and balances to help. I mean, like anything, there is a very small risk of the side effect of anything, whatever you give bacteria, but the risk is practically very small.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. So really well thought out. Yeah.
Now, just can I mention that important is, if you have got like immune suppressive disease, or you are taking a lot of antibiotics, then you just need to be careful and asking for medical advice. But
Yes.
otherwise, they're pretty safe. These two
Thank you so
conditions I
much.
would give a caution.
Yes, thank you so much. And we would always, and yes, from that perspective, we would always say, obviously, seek medical advice if you've got anything. And then just one other question we've got the time for, from Crazy David. Hi, David in Lanzarote there. Good friend and a fabulous client. I've just realized he's with us today. He has said, I had a bad experience of pancreatitis about 4 years ago, and only then realized the importance of the pancreas. I'm being bombarded by adverts suggesting that a special tea which targets the liver will deal with bloating of the belly. Do you agree, please? I know that's putting you straight on the spot, as you don't know what it's actually referring to, but yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually it's important to know the actual ingredient, because if you don't know the ingredient, it is less likely. But I think it is unlikely that if it's a natural plant product, it's going to cause significant problem. The important message here is that detoxification of liver is something which is very peculiar, and I think one has to be very careful in not just believing the adverts, because they can drive you in a wrong direction. And although the pancreas duct and the liver, the duct actually open in the same hole, and therefore there is a possibility, but I would probably not consider just detoxification of liver with a tea.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, just to say again, obviously these are Dr. Rajeev's personal opinions. And, as he said at the start, and if you need to seek medical advice with anything, please do. My brain, I don't know about my gut. If my gut and brain are all connected, then I guess my gut's also going, woo, because my brain definitely is, with all that incredible, insightful, fascinating information. Thank you so much for being able to put that in a concise way that we can at least begin to understand and picture how it's all coming together. I'm so appreciative of that. Absolutely brilliant. I would just say now, as it is 1 minute past 8, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. everybody, especially to Rajeev, for bringing your extraordinary knowledge to the Zoom room tonight. And we really look forward to helping all of you with your healthy gut journey now and in the future. If you do want to connect with Rajeev, his details are in the chat box, but that is support@rajeev.me.uk. And you can check his website, rajeev.me.uk as well. But obviously, if you've been invited by a friend, do connect back with them, and we can get any questions answered for you. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always, to have you here with me, Dr. Rajeev. I learned so much from you, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. And keep your healthy gut glowing however you can, in whatever way you can. But hopefully that's given you some great information to take forward this evening. And we will keep you informed of the next one of these that we do. So thank you, Rajeev, and thank you to everybody for being with us tonight. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.